everyone, and welcome. I'm Angela Palmer from Stamp with Angela. I'm excited to be here with you today to share some ideas to help you and inspire you with your card making stamping. So thank you for being here, whether you're joining me live on Facebook or YouTube, or you might be watching the recording later. So I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based on the North Shore in Auckland, and I've been a demo for around 14 years. So I love what I do. Like being able to come live each Thursday around 1:30 p.m. New Zealand time to share some ideas with you. All right, so I don't know if you can see, I've got some special earrings that I'm wearing today. Let's get it around the right way. Don't you love these? I was going to wear them last week, but I couldn't quite find them in time. So last week I got back from On Stage, which is a Stampin' Up! Conference that we have each year, and that was in Sydney. And if you want to, you can take part in swaps, which you can make cards and meet other people and swap. So my team member Kylie, who I went over with, she made some swaps, she made some cards, and she also made these cute earrings using the she can't quite remember what the set's called, but the bug set. So I thought I would share those with you today. So they're really cool. So lots of fun. They're just basically stamped and then put on to little hooks and things as earrings. So thank you, Kylie, for my earrings. I really like them. They're lots of fun. All right. So for today, I thought we would do something a little bit different and go back to the basics in card making. Now, I do a variety of classes. I do coffee and cards, which is slightly more basic and things, because I don't take all my fancy machines, just, stamps and inks, and try and do a technique or something, but fairly simple because we've only got an hour to make 2 cards. And then I have my classes at home, which I had this morning, and that was my monthly classes, which are basically a fun fold and a technique. So we did that. But sometimes we need a quick, easy card, or maybe you're starting out and you don't quite know where to start and what you need. So I thought I would show you some basic supplies that are good for those starting out and some quick cards you can make. And even if you are an avid card maker and you like making cards, maybe you'll get some ideas from this. And it's always good to have a few cards on hand that are nice and quick and easy to make. All right, so let me switch over to my craft table and I will show you what we're going to be doing today. All right, so with our cards, obviously we need a good stamp set. So this one is a good one because it has got both, sorry, just trying to adjust my camera here. It's got both some sentiments and some little images, not big images, but some little images in it so that we can create with them. So they're photopolymer, and I'm not quite sure why my dimensionals are in there, but I've put most of them on blocks ready to go. But we've got happy birthday, best wishes, thank you, thinking of you, and then some sentiments. So having that is useful. Now obviously if you're using a stamp set, then you will need a block for it. Now I've got multiple blocks. Maybe if you're starting out, you just kind of get something like a D is quite a good size one. I do find an H quite useful as well, bonus dimensional there. Or maybe you've had a kit and you get a block with that, and I did have it, here it is. If you've ever got a kit, it's basically the same sort of size as a D block, but not quite as thick, but that works as well. So you'd need at least one block. But if you have a couple, then particularly for the smaller ones, it's ideally best to have a small stamp on a small block, because if the block is really big, then you risk getting more ink around it and that kind of thing. So try and make the stamp be suited to the block, but we will use what we use. All right, so as we carry on, let me know who's here. Let me know where you're from. And maybe you can let me know how long you have been crafting, stamping, card making for. So Jane, hi, great to see you. I know there are others on, so let me know where you're from and maybe how long you've done this for, if you know. So out of interest from me, like I said, I've been a demonstrator for 14 years, but I've made cards for 20 plus years. More than that, 25 years or so. Even as a kid, I used to make cards, and not stamps, but you know, printed on a computer or cut all cards out or something like that. Always liked to make cards. Not drawing though, not good at drawing, but I love making cards. Okay, so back to what we need. So like I said, you'll need a stamp set and you'll need a block. So we'll go with our D1 for now because that's quite, useful. Other things you'll need is some ink. So if you have a look in the current annual catalogue, if you're starting out, this is our annual catalogue, there on page 33 are some ink spots. And I don't know if I've got one in here with me, but basically it's a little square or stamping spot. It's a little ink pad. Okay, so it's a good way to get a few colours in one go, and it's quite reasonable. And in our new catalogue that's coming out, there'll be sort of a new combination of ink colours. So what I've done, this particular group here has got Melon Mumbo, Darling Duckling, Granny Apple Green, Fresh Freesia, and Basic Grey. So I have gathered my ink pads and included those colours. So if you were to use the ink spots, we would be using the same colour. I've just got the big size ink pads as opposed to a little one. And you just have to, ink it up a little bit more. But we'll use those 5 colours. I have also added Azure Afternoon because I do like my blues. So I thought we'd just have a little play with that. So you need a stamp set, a block, at least one, and then some inks. So they can be ink pads or they can be the stamping spots. Then obviously we need something to stamp on. So a quick easy thing is the basic white note cards and envelopes, because they are the cards and the envelopes. If you've got extra white cardstock, great. If not, then you could always, cut part of one if need be. Obviously we need to glue our card together, or maybe some cards you don't, but having some adhesive, a glue, a liquid multi-purpose glue, and some dimensionals are probably the 2 main adhesives that I would recommend. And then either if you've got some scissors, that's great. If not, a trimmer is useful, but not essential when you start. I will use mine a little bit today, but you can kind of get started without the trimmer. So let's summarize what you'd need. You need an a stamp set, a block, some inks or stamping spots, adhesives, and then obviously something to put it all on. So like where have they gone? Note cards and things. If you've got some extra white cardstock, then that's great. And possibly a trimmer to cut some of it if need be. All right. And for today's, so we can just use that. I'm going to show you how you can do a bit more if you've also got blending brushes. So they come in a pack of 3. Now, when you get them, they have got no colour on them at all, but I've obviously used these a lot. You get a pack of 3. So I obviously, use it for a particular colour or colour group, blues, reds, whatever. And then, you can wash them. Just take a bit to get the dye out. I've got to let them dry, but we're going to use blending brushes as well. So that's kind of a next step up. If you, what was I going to say? Oh, it's gone. So getting blending brushes is kind of another way of adding a little bit more to it. Okay, so let's get started. So with our note cards, they are a bit smaller. They are, scored. There is a score line, so I'm going to fold it in half and just make sure they line up, and then I'm going to crease it. Now, I do like to use a bone folder because it gives a nice, sharp, crisp edge, so I will do that. But if you don't, just crease it as best as you can with your thumb or finger or whatever. Now, keeping it nice and simple, we can stamp directly on there, and we could use one colour, we could use a couple of colours. Because I've got spare cardstock, I'm actually going to do it on another piece that's just a fraction smaller. The reason being, if I stuff it up, I can turn it over, and then it gives a little bit of a frame. But if you've only got note cards, then just stamp directly on that too. All right, I'm going to look at the comments and things. Hi, Jane. Hi. Who else have we got? Joe. Linda, Karen. Wow, so Karen's been doing it over 25 years too. Linda about 10 years plus. What else? Anyone else sharing about when? I'm just looking through the comments. So that's very cool to see how long people have been doing this. Okay. So let me show one of my cards I did. And then we can go from here. So this is one I have done, very simple. So I've done thank you in the darling duckling, and then I did 3 hearts in the melon mumbo. So that's 2 kind of colors. Depending on the stamp and the way it fits, obviously happy birthday is quite a big stamp. It does just fit that way, or you might want to turn your card that way too. I might actually turn it that way and do 3 cupcakes. So with the happy birthday stamp, it kind of fits on an H block quite nicely. But if you've only got a D block, you can make it work. If you do that, it's going to hang off the edge. If you angle it slightly, then it can fit. All right. Now, another thing, depending on what work surface you are stamping on, you want, this is quite harsh and it's a trestle table, so sometimes not quite so good. So find something soft. I'm using a stamping piercing mat. You could find a mouse pad or something like that. All right, so let's stamp happy birthday. I did say I like the blue, so I might just, do we do 2 colors, or I don't know. Let's do multiple colors. So I'm going to move that out of the way. So we're going to, like I said, you can do it straight on here, but just in case I stuff up, I'm going to do it on here. So we'll put that in the middle. Hope for the best. That's pretty good. Not quite centered, but you know. I'm going to do a couple of cupcakes. Now you will need something to clean your stamps with. You could run them under the tap or get a sponge or whatever. I've got a chamois here. Very dirty chamois. I've also got my stamping scrub, but these are great and I love them, and it was one of the first things that I got. But if you're starting out, just a cloth or a wet wipe, you know, would be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp one there and one the other side, and then one in the middle, but a different color. So I'm cleaning it. We're going for multicolors here. I was going to go for yellow, but I think I might go for melon mumbo because it's a brighter color in the middle. I don't know what it's going to look like, but there you go. Cool. So that goes on there. We have used a variety of colors, fairly simple. And then I would adhere that straight on. Like I say, you can do it straight on the note card, but in case we mess it up, we'll do that. I'm just using a thin layer of glue around the edge. And this is ink, a SIP card, stamp, ink and paper. So keeping it nice and simple. So there's one card with a few different colors. All right, now I'm going to step it up a little bit. And I'll show you another one I did. Try not to let things fall on ink pads. Closing it up. Now you'll see that I've got 2 kinds of ink pads here. This is an old one where it flips and slides. This one also flips and slides. No, it doesn't. It flip, yeah. And then we're going to change them again to magnetic, which will be much easier to open than those. All right. So next one is also a note card, but I have used some of the sponging. So if you've got multiple colors of cardstock, great. But if you don't, you just make your own. So this is what we're going to do. So for this one, I do need a smaller piece of cardstock. And I think I've just used my last piece. So I'm going to cut a piece to fit. So I am going to make it, what is it? 8.5 by 12.3. And that gives you a slight border on the card front. So 8.5 by 12.3. So if you're an inches person, what is it? 3 3/8 by 4 7/8, I think, roughly speaking. Okay, I'm going to use a scrap piece, which you can see I've used before. How about, I haven't done anything yellow, or do I have a yellow blending brush is the question. Yes, I do. This is a yellow one. So I've got multiple blending brushes, but you can just get one packet and then just kind of make it work. Use 3 particular colors one day, and then you could clean them, and then another day use 3 different colors. If you know you're starting off and you need a few basics. So I should give you a few tips. So when you first put it down, often it can be quite solid like that, and it would, if you were doing it kind of like that, and leave a mark. So what I tend to do is ink it up, start somewhere else, circle motions, and then bring it onto my card. And that way you get a more even coloring. If I show you the other side and I go like that, see how I get that? That doesn't really look quite so good, unless you're going for that effect. So tap it down, circles off, and then circle onto your card like so. So now I have a darling duckling background without needing to buy that card. So let's have a look at the different symbols or shapes and things we've got. So we've got a cupcake, a flower, a star, a leaf, and a heart. So maybe we could do a thinking of you. Would that work in yellow? I don't know. What do you reckon? Let me know. Best wishes. If we could do one this way maybe, because we've done that way. What do you reckon? If it's thinking of you, we'll have to go this way. If it's best wishes, that one. So let me know what sentiment we should use. Best wishes or thinking of you. Let's see who answers first. And we'll go with that. And then depending on, if it's thinking of you, we could do hearts. If it's best wishes, we could do a flower or a star. So I'm just giving you a time, answer. I don't see any answers yet. Anyone there? Which should we use? If not, I'll make a decision. Waiting. All right. I need to bring it back. Now you'll see on this card, I did have another piece to stamp on. So if you've got white cardstock, you can use that. If not, then you might need to cut up one of your cards to give you some extra white cardstock. So just whatever works. So I'm going to find a piece of white that I can use. So we've got Jane has answered best wishes, best wishes. Oh, everyone's saying best wishes. We better do best wishes. Okay, so what image should we do? The star? Or what do you reckon? I'm going to have to make this a bit shorter. I'm just sort of working out where's the stamp as well. You see how we can go in a bit. Right, so I don't know what measurement it is. I'm just cutting a piece just to see. So I don't have best wishes on a block, so I'm going to put it on a block. Is that going to fit? Ooh, just, yep. Best wishes flower, okay. So ink that up. Got a bit of white on here because I used it in my class this morning and I haven't cleaned it properly. So I've only just made it wide enough. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And flower. Oh, people are saying flower. Okay, we're going to do best wishes and flower. All right. I'm just going to make sure, yep, that it is clean because I did use other colors. All right. So what we're going to do is this is kind of going to go here. And we're just sort of going to randomly stamp around it. Some are closer to the edge, some are going over the edge. Can you see what I'm doing? All right, and that's going to go there. I kind of feel like I need one there. Might just fit one in. Cool. And maybe, don't want to get too many, like that. All right. So best wishes, that probably needed to be over a bit. But anyway, like so. Flower and best wishes. So with the blending, I do want it on another piece of paper because I'm wanting that kind of border. This is a note card size. And then I'm going to crease that. And not sure where I put my bone folder. We'll just do it like that. And we're going to adhere that. So can you see what I mean about the slight white border? So using our liquid multi-purpose glue or our Tombow, Thin layer, not too much, not too close to the edge. We don't want it squirting out and having ink everywhere. And the good thing with the glue is we can kind of move it a little bit to get it nicely lined up. And then for this, I'm going to put it on with dimensionals. We could, if we wanted, sponge the edge, but I'm going to leave it just so it gives a nice, what's the word? You know, the white really is quite striking against the yellow. And my Take Your Pick tool is out in the dining room where I had my class, so we'll use nails today, like so. Try and get it centered. Best wishes. Okay, cool. So how's that? So fairly quick, easy card. Now you can just leave it like that. You could, if you had some, add some sparkle to it, add some embellishments. So here's a bigger card I've made. And you'll see how I have added some embellishments. There should be 3, but one's come off. So if you want to keep it simple with not too many supplies, just like that, that's still a special homemade card. So let me show you what we've got here. Where's the thank you one? Oh, here we go. All right. So for quick, easy note cards, 2 happy birthdays, a best wishes, and a thank you. Some are using what I call monochromatic, one color, Granny Apple, green, and Darling Duckling. And then these ones are incorporating a couple of different colors. And you can just, these two obviously with blending the background, if you can get some blending brushes, or you can just stamp. So now I'm going to show you a normal sized card. So we're going to step it up to be a little bit bigger. Now, if I can, I do like to use thick basic white for my card base because it is a little bit thicker, so a little bit sturdier. I'm going to do the same and, nope, that's never it. Do a slightly smaller piece so I can blend on this and make a background. Now, I've already got a Melon Mumbo one to show you, so I don't want to do that. Let's do a Fresh Freesia one. So I will find my, what do you call it, blending brush for that color. I'll just show you. See, I've got a tray of them. I've got a few here, but you don't need that many to get started. So I'm looking for my sort of purpley one. Even though that looks darker, not really any color is coming off, and it is purple, so I'm going to use that. Just check. All right, remember, don't start on the card. Start off, circular motion, and do the background. Now, it's very light to start with, but that's okay. It's better to be light and add color than be too dark and you can't take it out. All right, so we're going to cover the whole thing. So this is a little bit bigger. The size of this piece is, whoops, 10 by 14.3. Sorry if it's shaking. Okay, now while we're thinking of this, what sentiment, what shape do we want? We've used the flower, we've used the cupcake. Maybe we could use a star. I don't know. What do you think? Popping look. Okay. Now you'll notice because I'm coming in on the edges, you sort of get that definition around the edges as well. Slightly more there, but that's okay. All right, where's our stamp set? What are we going to do this time? We've done best wishes. Have we done a thank you? We have. I might do a thank you because thank yous are always useful. So I need another piece for my thank you. So I will just cut that. And I'll make it narrow if I need to. So I'm going to go for that same color. And I need to make sure my stamp is clean. You can always just stamp like that to make sure. I'm going to stamp it in Fresh Freesia. I'll do it like this. Oh, it's slightly wonky with the U. Let's turn it over and have another go. Let's watch the bottom this time. It's a little bit higher, but I can always trim it. So we need to decide, are we going portrait or landscape? Maybe we'll do this way this time. Star and thinking of you. Sorry, I've already done thank you. Actually, I don't think I've done a thinking of you. Okay, maybe, let's see, I've got another piece. We could do a thinking of you. Is it going to fit? Did I do a thinking of you? So, oh yeah, the stamp is still in here. Get rid of the here. Is that going to fit? Oh, it's not quite wide enough. I'm going to have to cut another piece. Oh, what's this? That's not going to be long enough. Oh yeah, that will work, I think. Okay. Should be clean. Yeah. Ink it up. Can you see me inking it up here? Thinking of you. I wonder what I'm going to do it. Try and line it up at the bottom and I can trim the top. Let's see how we did. Oh, it was closer to the bottom than I thought, but that will work. Now I'm going to trim it off. A star and thinking of you. I guess you could be a star and thinking of you. All right, let's have a look. So we are going to do that. And a star, says Linda. I will if I can find it. I've got everything but the star. I've got cupcake, I've got leaf, I've got flower, I've got heart. But where is the star? We might not be doing a star if I can't find it. I mean, I've got multiple blocks. Obviously, you would change it around and clean it in between. But didn't I show you a star earlier? Okay, we might not be able to do a star. You know what'll happen, don't you? The minute I finish the live, it will turn up. Okay, if I can't do a star, what's our second choice? A heart or flower? I'll clean them both ready. What happened to our star? Maybe we'll do a heart because we're thinking of them. We love them. And I don't think I've done the heart yet. Okay, sorry, Linda. If I find a star later, I'll try and do one for you. So I'm kind of leaving that there to kind of give me an idea on where to place it. We're sort of doing a pattern, but not really. Like that. Maybe we could have sort of a part heart coming up there and a part like that. I don't know. What do you reckon? How's that? Could be in the center. Now I've got slight ink there. So what I'm going to do is pretend that I wanted it like that, and I'm going to very carefully, I might have to, I'm say just add a little bit of ink around the edge, but it's going to be ever so, oh yeah, I can see it happening ever so slightly. Since there was ink there, we're kind of having to make it all like that, pretend it was meant to be there. Can you see a bit of ink around there now? Just ever so slightly. Okay, there we go. Thinking of you. We love you. We're thinking of you. So I've got my thick basic white. So obviously this requires extra cardstock if you're doing this, but still basic supplies. And obviously a trimmer is much easier to cut these. I mean, you can use scissors, but the chances of getting it straight are pretty hard. So let's do that. And then we're going to put that on with kind of in the center about there with our dimensional. So definitely the two adhesives I would recommend are the glue and the dimensionals. Go for the standard size one because if need be, you can cut them in half to make them smaller, but you can't make a smaller one bigger. And I've put highlighter over it so you can see when I've taken the top layer off. Whoops, upside down is not a good idea. We'll bring it down a fraction. Cool. There we go. So if you had bling, like, you know, some of that kind of stuff, this is for another project, so I won't. You could maybe add a bit of sparkle to it, like we did on that one. Okay, so this one I've made bigger and I've even done the little cupcake there too. And here's one I did earlier. Happy birthday. Isn't that cool? That is the melon mumbo. That is nice and bright. All right, so let's summarize and I'll show you what we have done. So if you're wanting to make some quick, easy cards, or you're new to card making, you're wondering what to get, grab yourself a stamp set like this with you in mind. This is both sentiments and some images. You will need a block to put it on. So it could be like a block from a card kit, or it might be other blocks. I would recommend a D is definitely a good one to get. H is useful, and then maybe a smaller one. I'm not sure what size this is. B or C, I think. I'm not quite sure what's available still. So you need stamp set and blocks. Then you need some inks. So you might have a whole ink pad, or you might, if you're starting out, just use the little ink spots. I wish I'd brought one in to show you. If you've got a little ink spot, what you'll need to do is have your stamp like that and ink it up with, because you obviously can't, well, it's harder to put that into an ink pad. So put the ink spot over the top. So you need stamp, block, inks. Then you need something to stamp it on. So the note cards are great. They are good because it's cards and envelopes, and you can start with just those. If you've got white cardstock as well, then that's a bonus. And then obviously some adhesive. So my two adhesives would be dimensionals and glue. Now, if you really, really, really don't like glue, I know some people don't, you could get a snail or some tear-in tape and put it on with that. Totally up to you. But I do like, whoops, throwing it away. I do like my glue. And then extra, if you want to step it up a little bit, having some blending brushes. Grab a pack of 3 blending brushes, and you can use them for, use a particular color with an ink pad. And then some more cardstock, and if you can, a trimmer is great too. But if not a trimmer to start with, just your note cards, pair of scissors. So stamp set, block, ink, adhesives, and note cards are your core basics. And then some white cardstock, trimmer, blending brushes are kind of the next step up slightly. So if you need any of those things, reach out to me. Now, I know quite a few of you that are watching are kind of avid crafters. But I'm sure, you like making some simple cards sometimes. So let me show you what we've done, either here or I did before. So these are just different colors stamped on white. Here's another one, which I haven't mounted on a card yet. I couldn't quite decide if I liked it or not. Then if we step it up a little bit, we have sponged the background using our blending brushes. Whoops, let's put that up the right way. So they're all note cards. So which is your favorite? Which one do you like? Do you like more just the stamping or the blending too? And if you really want to step it up, buy yourself a packet of rhinestones or something and add a bit of bling to it. And then for your normal size cards, we have got these ones here. Now, to be honest, I think that background was actually DSP stamped on, but you could easily blend that to create it. Here's what we did with the thinking of you and a happy birthday. So they are normal size cards, monochromatic, one particular color, but you could mix and match. And again, if you want to stiff it up, you could add some bling. All right, so with you in mind is an awesome stamp set, great to play with and make, a range of cards, birthday, thinking of you, best wishes, thank you, that kind of stuff. So any questions, do let me know. What else? Whoops, my thing just went and I can't see it. All right, cool. Couple of things to let you know about. So I've mentioned last time about Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin is coming to New Zealand. It's been in America for ages, and now we are getting it here in New Zealand. So you think, well, what is it? Basically, it's a monthly paper crafting kit by Stampin' Up. So you subscribe, you get a red box like this with your kit in it, and it includes what you need. So you can pay as you go. It's $56 per month. And you get stamping rewards on that as well. Now, the first time you join up, they will send you a block. So you don't get them in every kit, just the first one, you'll get a block. And then you get, it might be 3 cards of 3 or something like that. So here's some samples of some of the, you know, kits and things that we've had in the past. So you'll get the card bases, the envelopes, a stamp set, a little ink spot. So then you can use that ink spot to create your other cards. And then any die cuts, if you need embellishments and all that kind of thing, that is included too. So here's an example of a kit here with 3 different cards. So this isn't the ones that are coming. The first one is, oh, I can't remember what it's kind of related to. So you may be thinking, Paper Pumpkin. Why is it called Paper Pumpkin? So it's actually inspired by a fairy tale concept. So you'd know the story of Cinderella and how she, you know, has this magical experience and gets her pumpkin changed into a carriage, and then she gets to go to the ball and her dress gets changed and all that kind of thing. So the pumpkin part is the box. So that is like your box that comes, it's orange like a pumpkin, or orange red, you know, and it's like Cinderella's carriage. So in that carriage, in that box, is a special surprise coming to you. And then the paper is the content. What is inside it? It's all those supplies nicely wrapped in tissue paper, representing Cinderella's ball gown. So she had a basic dress and it got changed into a beautiful dress. You've got all these supplies in here, some adhesives, some stamp sets, some cards, and you get to change that into a wonderful card. So that's kind of the concept of why it was called Paper Pumpkin, because the pumpkin, the box, is the thing that's coming to you. The paper, like Cinderella's dress, gets changed and you get to create some amazing cards. So if you would like to subscribe from the 1st of April until the 10th, you need to subscribe, $56 including shipping, and it gets shipped on the 11th. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it will be shipped on the 11th. So after the 11th, you can't order this particular set. And then if you subscribe, then there's opportunities to get more of the contents of the kit or some dies that work with it and things. So you might like it for yourself. You might like it for someone who, you know that would enjoy crafting, but they don't have a whole craft room, but they would like a few basic supplies. Paper Pumpkin is perfect for them. You could tell them about it, or, could even be a gift. Why not give them a gift that is something special for them to use? Alrighty, so lots today. Thank you for joining me. Do you remember my little wee earrings here? Are they the right way around? They kind of tend to flip. There we go. Thank you, Kylie, for my earrings. Whoops. So they were great on stage as part of one of those little swaps and things. So we did go back to the basics today, but I hope you learned a couple of things. If you're like me, I love using my blending brushes. I love blending. I love creating backgrounds. And sometimes you need some quick and easy cards to make, or maybe you're starting out and you need a few basic supplies. If you need to order, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you. And if you need a catalogue or anything, let me know. Our current catalogue will be finishing soon, and then a new catalogue will be coming. So I've ordered those, and I'll be going out sometime in April. Awesome. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate you being here. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe so you know when the next lives and things are happening. Otherwise, join me next Thursday, 1:30 p.m. New Zealand time. And yeah, let me know if you've got any questions or anything in particular you would like me to share, because I'm always open to new ideas and things. All right, thanks for your time today. I will see you again. And remember, 1st of April, you can subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. All right, thanks so much. See you again soon. Bye.